Hi everyone, this is Cisco, and this is the ARH Frazetta Death Dealer 3 statue. I ordered this I think maybe a year ago, and I also ordered the Death Dealer 1, which is the one on the horse, about 2 years ago, and somehow this one has turned up first. I don't know where my Death Dealer 1 statue is. I haven't got any responses via email from ARH yet, but I am hoping it's going to turn up eventually. I know some other people got theirs shipped direct from China, so I'm not sure why mine seems to have been shipped to the States first and then has to come all the way back, but yeah, fingers crossed it's going to turn up as well. So just back to this Death Dealer 3. The good news is it looks really great in person, and I'm really happy that I ordered it. The bad news, just to get that out of the way, is that the packaging that this has turned up in is by far the worst packaging I have ever received a collectible in. And I know a lot of people have talked about the ARH packaging before, but man, it's it's really something when you experience it yourself. So comes in an outer cardboard box and then an inner cardboard box and then the styrofoam. So I'd opened up the cardboard boxes and was lifting the styrofoam out, and I just lifted it out of the box, and suddenly I heard this noise, and it felt like the whole bottom of the styro was going to give way, and so I put it down as quick as I could. Yeah, so I'll try and get some photos, but one corner of the styro had cracked sort of completely through, and then the compartment where the base is kept had also cracked and had nearly fallen through the bottom completely. So that was kind of scary. I'll have to reinforce it with a whole lot of tape before I pack it back up. But yeah, so this did turn up with, I haven't seen anything broken, which is fantastic. I'm really happy. But yeah, man, I'd be scared to, if I ever sold this or something, be scared to ship it somewhere in this styro. But anyway, that sort of is really the only bad news, because the statue itself is really nice. So I'll give you a quick 360, just so you can see it at all the different angles. He's nice and big, huge axe, as you can see, and then I really like the way they've attached this sword on the back with a little clip. I'll get you some close-ups of that a little bit later, but it looks really nice. I don't know if you can see, there's like bits of styro everywhere. Other people have described opening up styro from ARH as a snowstorm, and I can confirm that was pretty much what it was like. But like I said, it has turned up without any damage, which I'm really happy about, and the statue itself is really beautiful. So I will take the camera off the tripod now and get you guys some close-ups. Okay guys, here we go with some close-ups, and might as well start up here with the head. So the helmet has been painted a sort of a dark silver colour, but it's sort of been got different layered colours in it. And then the horns and the spike, and then this more sort of white part at the front are all slightly different colours. But yeah, it actually looks quite a lot like metal, which is a criticism I often have with things that are sculpted to be, you know, armour or something metallic, and they come out looking not even remotely metallic. But they've layered the paint enough in this that it looks, you know, like an old helmet, old armour that's been weathered and battle damaged and things like that. So yeah, pretty happy with the paintwork on the helmet and all the armor on this piece. Just get you guys a good shot of the eyes. I know they were talked about quite a bit because on the original prototype they were closer together, which when you sort of had it in profile, which the Frazetta painting, you know, has him turned to the side, looked fine, and then when you looked at it straight on, looked a bit funny. So they've widened the eyes for this production piece. Looks pretty good in person. I think they did a pretty good job of that. So just moving down, getting you some close-ups on the armor, which I think just all the details on the armor are the standout part of this piece. So both on the front, and then I'll spin it around to the back. You can have a look at these shoulder guards here. Again, nicely weathered, layered colours in the paint. It looks good. And then the back here is just crawling with detail, which is unfortunate because of course you usually display things from the front and don't see this most of the time, but of course the painting is a 2D image and you only see the Death Dealer from the front. So Caleb Nefsen, who sculpted this, had to sort of interpret what he thought the back of this armor would look like, and man, he did a really good job, because this is really cool with these straps that sort of come through from the front, and these bits of armor, and then this strap here going down into the belt, and then of course you can see that translated over the front, and the leather straps going into the shoulder and the armor at the front. You can see those leather bits going all the way to the front to hold the metal parts of the armor, and I just think the way that that he did that is just amazing. Really fantastic, like creativity and design on that, I think. Just looks fantastic. And then I'll try and get a bit closer on the cloth, which is sculpted, not mixed media. But the texturing is so good. Lots and lots of texture on the on his clothing, and I don't know if you can quite pick it up with the camera, but they've again sort of weathered the clothing with different browns and blacks and things like that. So it looks like worn and old, and yeah, it just looks really nice. And then so on this belt here, again you can kind of see the texture on the belt. It gives it this leather-like quality. It looks really great, but it's definitely all sculpted. So for this sword that hangs on his back, I'll get to that in a second, but they've just got a real metal chain with this clip that just clips on, so you can clip it on and off really easily. I love the way they did that. And then this sword itself is really cool. So it's got this gold hilt, which is a nice sort of bronzy kind of goldy colour, and then going down here you've got this bright red like stone in it, and then silver details going down, and then more details down there. Oh sorry, I'll try and focus down the bottom there, and it just looks really awesome. And then I love it sort of, you know, being sort of free, dangling there instead of just being, you know, sculpted to the back of him. I think that just adds an extra something. It's really nice. So I'll just give you maybe a quick shot of the back of his boots. You can see the bottom of the cape there. Sorry about all the styro. Couldn't be bothered to get it off because I'm going to pack this up for storage in a bit. But you can see there's blood dripping off the bottom of the cape part there, which is a really nice touch, and then more blood around the front there. So just the details with the boots. They've got kind of straps coming around. They've got this spike sticking out. There's like buckles in there, which again with the styro, I don't know if you can see. But yeah, it's really cool looking. I'll get you a shot from the front in a second as well. Just coming around to this one too. Again with the straps and buckles and bits of blood on his boots. And again, good paint. I'm pretty happy with the paint app on this whole piece, really. And nice blood splatter on the boots there. So I've missed some of his front, so I'll just come back up. So on his arms, you've got the chainmail, which is of course sculpted in. So they've done a pretty good job with the details. Again, it looks weathered and worn. I might have liked them to be slightly more silver, but it's really not anything to complain about. It looks good. And then for his skin tone, so Frazetta drew the Death Dealers with this sort of undead-ish kind of skin tone. Sorry, it's not wanting to focus. Kind of got it there, yeah. So it's kind of this pale colour with the blue veins showing through. I think they did a really good job on that. Possibly my only nitpick is that the hands are a slightly lighter colour to the leg, on mine anyway. And I probably would have liked the leg to be this colour of the hands, just because it shows up the veins and things a bit better. But it still looks, it's still really nice. It's a really good paint app on this skin tones. I think you can see it kind of here, if I can get a bit more focus, with the scars, the cuts, and then the veins showing through, and there's sort of different colours of skin tones. There is this kind of a bit of a white, I don't know if I can get that in focus. There's kind of a whitewash on top, which I feel like on this leg, not so much on the hands, a bit on this leg maybe, is it slightly too much. I might try and get a little bit of that off, but really, even if I can't, I'm not upset about it. It still looks good. And then just the rest of his bottom of his like tunic there, and then the handle of the axe. I don't know if you can see that. I've actually, it's meant to be sort of in the nook of his hand, but I'd already put the Death Dealer on the base, and then I tried to put the axe in, and of course his hands are in the way, so I think you actually need to put that in first and then put the Death Dealer in so that his hands sort of sit on top. But as I said, as I'm packing this up, I couldn't be bothered to fiddle around with it. But so he does have this big axe. It's got a metallic type looking handle, and then a wooden shaft, and then down the bottom this big axe blade, which is dripping with blood. They've glossed the blood. Looks fantastic. It's a nice colour red, and they've given it a good coat of gloss, and it looks really great. So then just finally onto the base. Again, really nice shade of red, and they've put plenty of gloss on it. So this, really happy with this, the way this blood on the base came out. That was probably the part that I was most worried about, to be honest, but it came out really good. So you've got these kind of pools of blood. It's dripping off the side. That looks great. And then you've got bones, you've got skulls, you've got rocks, more bones. Some of the bones are done more of a white colour, some of them are more browny colour. I feel like that's meant to be because it's more like they're covered with mud, maybe. But yeah, it doesn't, I'm not really worried about that. There's the ARH logo there. And some more bones. And then his back foot is standing on this pool of blood. And then another skull around here. Great job on the base. really, I'm very happy with this whole statue. The packaging is I think a separate issue, because I think the quality of this statue is something that I'm really happy with. But the quality of the packaging was, yeah, not up to where I'd like it to be. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm really happy I ordered this piece. I really like it. Base, figure, paint app, everything. It's really great, and I really love the Frazetta artworks with the Death Dealer. I wish they'd have continued the Frazetta line. I would have bought all the Death Dealers. But anyway, I'm really happy that they've made this and that I can have it in my collection. So thank you, ARH, for making this piece so that I can have it in my collection. So thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.